These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Kylie Ottman bodies that ball. Ava Love, wide open bucket. She drifts through the air and knocks it home. So
out of the corner, no. Nora with the rebound, quickly gets it ahead to Louise. In transition, the left-hand layup is good for Luciano Webster.
Now. It's 7 a.m. It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, on a morning where the first four is underway, we open this morning with tragedy involving a New Mexico university and their teams. Multiple people are reported to be dead in a crash that involves the University of Southwest golf team, the University of Southwest located in Hobbs, New Mexico. ESPN's reporting, amongst other people, KWES TV is also reporting this, that there was a vehicle carrying members of the University of Southwest golf team collided head-on with a pickup truck in West Texas this morning. Multiple people are killed, according to authorities. They were at a tournament, and this thing is still under investigation. It was transporting members of the golf teams from a tournament in West Texas back towards Hobbs. The other vehicle in the crash was a Ford F-150, and currently the University of the Southwest, which is in Hobbs, New Mexico, tweeted that it was working to notify family members of those involved in the crash. And that they've got counseling, but I mean that phone call for those families, those parents, those people involved. We're sending a lot of love, a lot of thought, a lot of just good vibes to that community, to those people involved, to those families, because this is something I think as a parent, as a person, one of your biggest nightmares. I mean, you're just going on a trip, you're going to play, you're going to do what you do, and then this happens. So I hate opening up this morning with that, but JJ, here's what we know. It happened in an area near the New Mexico-Texas border, and it's, by the way, it's the same area, I guess, that there were 3 people killed in November when a pickup truck crashed into a school bus carrying members of the Andrews High School band, Andrews, Texas, and killed some people there. Good morning to you. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you doing? You all right?
Morning.
Yeah, I hate opening up with that kind of news, but obviously tragedy. And as we get more, we'll let you know more. But I saw that, and I'm like, gosh, my heart just dropped. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just dropped. All right, we got a lot to do for you today. Stephanie's in. She is producing on the radio side, Adrian on the TV side. First four underway, and second team out is a Mountain West team. Wyoming, the last team in. 66-58, a little too much Trace Jackson Davis from Indiana. You and I kind of saw this coming. While I think Wyoming is a good team, Indiana is just so good interiorly, if that makes sense. And I thought Graham Ike kind of found it in the second half for the Pokes. I thought Hunter Maldonado struggled all night long. Hunter Maldonado had 10 turnovers last night. First team All Mountain West, I think he was, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. 10 turnovers last night, and you just can't. Then he missed a lot of free throws down the stretch, just too much of the big guy. And again, I thought Ike held his own. I thought in the first half he kind of looked a little bit like, oh, okay, this is a little bit of a different world. But Maldonado's line, 21 points and 10 turnovers. And from the free throw line, Wyoming went 12 of 18, left a lot of points there, but overall turned the ball over 19 times. You're just not going to win the NCAA tournament.
Well, it's Wyoming has two really good players, and it's obvious to everyone. And the athleticism was the difference. Trace Jackson Davis isn't a dude that was out there pushing Graham Ike around. It's just the different looks they threw at Graham Ike in the first half. And I don't know if he had a bucket in the first half. Gave him some trouble, and it was a game that Wyoming was forced to just post up two players, Hunter Maldonado and Graham Ike. They were not getting a lot of shooting around that. They were just 6 of 19 from 3. So it was an easy defensive game plan for Indiana. As you know, those guys are just going to post it up, try to back you down. Well, the Hoosiers are pretty strong. It wasn't going to be a problem for them. And Trace Jackson Davis was a menace on the other end because of his athleticism. He's a dude that is long, he can jump out of the gym, and you saw it when he was going inside. 10 of 16 from the field, 9-11 from the free throw line. And so it was a combination of Wyoming couldn't run offense. They just tried to post up their two best players. It wasn't effective. Maldonado turned the basketball over, as you addressed, and while they were able to keep it close, they never could go on a run because they never got anything going.
Yeah, and every time they got close, they would turn the ball over. And I just, again, I'm going to go back to the biggest thing to me is 19 turnovers. Well, you turn the ball over, 12 times. That's 7 more possessions. Maybe you get 3 more buckets. And now we got a ball game. They were there within 4 with about 2 minutes to go and turned the ball over. Couldn't hit a shot. And it was the athleticism, I agree with you, from Indiana. And Jackson Davis is terrific. JJ, I thought in the first half, Graham Ike just kind of looked overwhelmed. Like, oh, okay, this is a different big guy. But I'm going to give you this. And I don't know what Jeff Linder said, did, or the coaching staff did to get to Graham Ike. I thought he was a different guy in the second half. I thought he actually played a really good second half. And I thought Ike kept them in the game in the second half. His numbers overall are 17 points and 9 rebounds. He got a little bit in foul trouble. Great officiating moment, by the way. There was a foul. Ike got a rebound, and an Indiana dude got into him, and Ike tried to clear out, and the guy fouled him, clearly fouled him. They called a foul on Ike and, in fact, went to the monitor to see if it was going to be a flagrant on Ike because the dude fell down from the elbow. The elbow hit him in the shoulder. And the officials, and I didn't even know you could do this, changed the call to the right call. They called the foul on the Indiana player, which was the right thing, and it really kept Wyoming in the game because that would have been a third foul on Ike early in the second half. I don't know that I've ever seen them go to the monitor, especially early in a half, and they call the foul on the guy with the ball, Ike, and for clearing out, and they realized, oh, he didn't do anything. The guy was in a cylinder, and they gave the foul to the guy from Indiana, which I thought kept Ike in the game and in turn kept Wyoming in the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure the ruling on that.
It
might have been a makeup call for that terrible technical foul they gave Jeff Linder in the first half.
For walking out of the coach's box?
Which I think the ref thought Linder was yelling at him for some reason.
Yeah.
And Linder, you could see it the whole way, was looking at his player. Because I think it was Jeffries or someone that was really frustrated after a turnover or a missed shot. And Linder was yelling at him, like, get back down the court, let's go. And the ref just looks at him and tees him up.
Yeah,
What are we doing here?
Yeah, that was bizarre. It was, and Linder's like, what? In the NCAA tournament you're going to do?
I wasn't even looking at you.
Yeah. Or speaking to you for that matter. All right, so Wyoming's out. Final was 66-58. And again, Ike and Maldonado are one of the highest scoring tandems in America. You take two guys from a team, and they're one of the highest scoring in America. They had 38 points last night. But JJ, combined, they had 15 of their 19 turnovers. And, I mean, you win by your studs, you die by your studs. And I that's the one where if I'm a Wyoming fan and I'm going to remember this NCAA tournament game, I'm just going to go back to the turnover. It's I shot 43%. Okay. I actually shot a better clip than they did. From the three-point line, I shot better than they did. I actually, as bad as I was at the free throw line, 12 for 18, I shot a better percentage than they did. but I turned the ball over 19 times, and they only turned it over 8.
It's because Wyoming was able to beat people, isolation basketball, back down basketball with Ike and Maldonado, Mountain West play, and you're not going to do that against Indiana. And that's why I was all over the Hoosiers, even in a tight game, because Trace Jackson Davis was the second best player in the Big Ten tournament. Keegan Murray was the best at Iowa. I think he's that National Player of the Year. Jackson Davis was the second best player in that tournament, and he showed why last night.
All right, here's what we got for you. 505-246-0610. That's our number, 505-246-0610. It'll also be the text line, so you can call us or you can text us on that line. You can send emails, Jeff@sportsanimалabq.com, JJ@sportsanimалabq.com. On the Twitter, follow JJ. It's _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, the OD in the AM. You can watch the show there. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks, and you can watch us there. Sebastian Noel, I believe at 8:30, right? Even though he was on with us on Monday, I think he's going to fall into his regular slot. They got the APS, or the Metro, not the APS, the Metro baseball tournament is going on right now. We can do a little more recap if you want. I saw Jose Murillo signed to play college basketball at Eastern New Mexico. He stud from Highland High School, which is good for him. So kind of fired up that a guy who just won a state championship the other day is going to get a chance to play at that level. We got a lot of football stuff to do today. The new year for the NFL is now underway. We got a game at the Pit tonight. Lobo women in the WNIT against Grand Canyon. Kyrie went for 60 last night. Yankees are now talking to the mayor's office in City Hall about vaccination policy. What the Nets couldn't get done, I'm going to bet the Yankees can. It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us on a Wednesday morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Titus and Tate.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
5.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
It's also that time of year where there's coaching changes. New Mexico State is part of it. Wait. Relax, Jans fans. Relax. Well, at least for now. Chris Jans is still the head coach of the Aggies. Aggies will play tomorrow in the NCAA tournament as the 12 seed against UConn. Their women's coach will not be back. Brooke Atkinson will not return next year. Her contract is expiring. She's 5 years the head coach. She's been there for, I think, 13 years. And she will not be retained. 75 and 68, so New Mexico State will have a new women's head basketball coach. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. You get four more first four games today. You will get Bryant and who's Bryant playing? And then I get Rutgers and Notre Dame.
Wagner.
Bryant and Wagner. Those two dudes are going to play each other. Got Bryant and Wagner against each other.
Wright State. Sorry.
I thought.
Wagner was the conference title game.
All right, I'll take Wright State.
Right.
I was right on Texas Southern last night, right? I'm 2 for 2. That's how that goes. Did you watch the first game at all?
I did.
Texas Southern just had some bigs, huh? Yeah. A little too much
I enjoy those games. I really do like.
I do too.
The playing games. And some people are like, put them in. Oh, so they can go get beat by 25 by a 1 seed. Like UMBC happened once. I think it's cool that these 16 seeds get a spotlight. You're actually watching those games because you're not watching the 1-16 matchup really unless you're a fan of the 1 seed. And then occasionally it will come on and you'll get an update on it. So if I'm a 16 seed, I'll take this opportunity. Go to the first four, be a spotlight game, chance to win a game.
So there's a big conversation on that, actually. Should these play-in games be the last, not just 4 at-large teams, but the last 8 at-large teams? And these teams who win their conference tournament, the Wagners, I'm sorry, not the Wagners, the Bryants, the Wright States, the Texas A&M Corpus Christi's, all these schools, should they get a spot in the bracket? Should they be the 15 seeds? And what you're saying is that they will get more exposure this way than that way. I'm not. I never really thought of it that way. I always thought, actually, you want to be in the bracket. You're going to get Wright State's going to get way more exposure if their name's listed on that 15 line, so they can get waxed by Villanova, or Texas A&M Corpus Christi should be on the 15 line or 16 line, so they can get beat by Duke, as opposed to having to play in these games. But what you're saying is they get the spotlight on these Tuesday nights. People are ready to go. Now a lot of people hadn't turned their brackets in, but what you're saying is they're ready to go. I would argue, actually, I wonder if more people watched an NIT game that was going on between, let's just say, Vanderbilt and Belmont or Oklahoma and Missouri State in the early window, as opposed to watching the first four. And the NIT was on a network, you know where it is.
We know it by now. Like, it's been a few years that...
True TV or whatever it is?
Yeah, True TV, TBS. Like, it's not crazy anymore. Find it on your guide. It's pretty easy. You can talk to your remote control.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
It's easy. You just tell your TV, basketball, and it'll pop up.
Find me basketball.
But I really do like these 16 seeds getting the stage.
Okay.
Because it's compelling basketball. I watched that over the NIT game.
You do?
Absolutely.
Did you watch Utah State compete last night?
I watched some of that contest.
Get out? Yeah.
It was very disappointing for Utah State.
I think I saw that one coming too. I think Oregon was just better than they are. Or Oregon's better than Utah State.
Which is frustrating because Oregon's not that good.
Yeah, the Utah State was the 7th place team in the Mountain West.
And a very good Mountain West conference.
What's that?
And Oregon was without 2 starters.
Yeah.
In that game.
I guess I did not know that. I didn't watch enough of that game to know that.
Will Richardson and Fly Dante did.
Oregon without 2 starters beat Utah State 83-72 in Logan in the NIT. Interesting. Pac-12 had 2 teams move on in the NIT yesterday, by the way. Washington State was a winner last night, 63-50 over Santa Clara. Late night in Boulder, St. Bonaventure won in Boulder, beat Colorado. So Oregon and Washington State move on. Colorado's out. Texas A&M won 74-62 over Alcorn State, and then just unloaded. Buzz Williams did, their coach, on the NCAA committee about them being left out of the NCAA tournament. North Texas beat Texas State to move on. Oklahoma beat Missouri State to move on. Vanderbilt and VCU were winners last night in the NIT. So, and you'll get more games today. Anything else? BYU plays tonight. They'll play Long Beach State. SMU plays Nichols. Good game, Virginia, Mississippi State. And a former Lobo opponent, Towson, will play Wake Forest tonight in the NIT. So the NIT, the first 4 interests you more than the NIT does?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Like, I watched the NIT, but I made sure that Texas Southern, Texas A&M Corpus Christi game was on at tip-off.
I wasn't home yet.
To enjoy the NCAA.
Yeah, all right, I could buy that. I know there's a lot of argument going back and forth, and I could be swayed. Does a Texas Southern or a Texas A&M Corpus Christi, is it better for their program, the exposure that they get on a Tuesday night in Dayton to be in the first 4? Is that better because everybody's watching them, as opposed to you're playing on Friday morning in Buffalo or wherever, and you're going to get punched by Kansas? I'll listen to that. Yeah. Which one's better? It certainly gives you a better chance to put a win, to say we got to win the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
And there's some of you who say, that's not the NCAA tournament, Jeff. Well, it is.
It absolutely is.
It actually is.
Because guess what? These brackets you print out, you're on the bottom of them, too.
Well, and there's 68
right
teams that get invited.
Boom. There's 68 invites. You get them.
Yeah.
And where are you sliding them in? Because all those other 15 and 16 seeds
you put them in
conference tournaments, are you going to put them up to 14?
Yeah.
Start
that's
pushing
exactly
teams
right.
up?
Yes, that's exactly what the people are asking for. And then they're saying take the next 4 at-larges, which would probably be, certainly would be Michigan, and it would be Virginia Tech. No, Virginia Tech won their tournament, didn't they?
Yeah.
It would be Iowa State. Yep. Those teams.
Seton Hall.
Maybe San Francisco. Yeah.
I love it for the 16 seeds.
Yeah.
I do.
All right.
You get a competitive game. Like, yes, you want that opportunity to go out there and play the best of the best, which is what you get if you win that first 4 game. But like Texas Southern, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, like that was back and forth. Like, you're tuned in, you're watching it down the stretch, you're learning about these guys. That ain't gonna be the case when Texas Southern takes floor against Kansas.
No, I promise that. All right. Phones are ringing 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. JJ will man the text line today. Is that fair? What?
A lot of pressure.
I know it is.
I know I can handle that.
I got to find that associate producer thing, too. Steph, in the interim, I'm down. Could you just tell me my ear? Who's on the phone? Oh, here it is. I got it now. All right, let's go to it. 505-246-0610. Hello, Jerome.
Hey, good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Life's good. What's happening?
Just getting ready for another NCAA tournament. Hopefully a run this time with the Aggies. Hopefully we don't get these close calls against the Auburns and everybody else. And I always like our chances. I'm always the optimist when it comes to the Aggies playing. But I see this matchup as a good matchup. And if we're, like they said, firing on all cylinders, I think we should beat the University of Connecticut. I think we should beat UConn. We have all the pieces together. Whether or not they come together and play like we need them to play, that's another story. But I think it's all possible with Teddy Allen and Jabari Rice, McCann, Will McNair, all the people, all the people doing different things. And then I saw a lot of good stuff out of our point guards getting some play time. So I think we could beat UConn, but of course I'm going to say that because I'm an Aggie fan. But it's just fun to be in the NCAA tournament again, after we should have been in there with the COVID year, and then last year really was a throwaway year. But I'm looking forward to it, guys. I'm looking forward to us, beating UConn and just moving on, and let's see if we can make it to the Sweet 16 and play Gonzaga. That would be awesome.
So,
what do you guys think?
Jerome, first of all, I love you. But and you've got, and there have been bad calls over the years. The Auburn game did not come down to a bad call. The Auburn game came down to your team missing free throws. You know that, right? You had that.
Big time.
Big time. You make a couple free throws. You make one free throw at the end, and you win that game. You lose 78-77 to a team that went to the Final Four. And this was also a 12-5 game, just like it is now. You were 30-5 that year. You got 32 points out of Terrell Brown that day. No, that can't be right. That's not right. It's not right. Let me, Johnny had 16 that day. Johnny had 16. Terrell had 12. I was looking at the wrong column. Trevin Queen had 14. Aua Chea had 13. I mean, you missed free throws. So I love you, but can't blame that one on the refs. Now, Michigan State, I'll listen to. I think look, in a 12-5 game, I think you got a chance. They're good, dude. Their big is really good. Their guards are athletic. They're going to pressure you. They're going to try to turn the ball over. My concern, and JJ, I'm going to yield to you. My concern about New Mexico State is their point guard play, and can they take care of the basketball?
Are you getting out of Jabari?
Yeah.
In that situation?
Yeah. He's just got to take care of the basketball.
Step up.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, Jerome. And Jerome, I appreciate the call. Good luck to you, and let's talk during the week after the game. All right. Thanks for the call.
Sounds good.
I can't button that thing. I watched Wyoming go last night, and the athletes that they played last night, I think they were a little stunned by it. I think that's why Maldonado turned the ball over. Maldonado, first team all league. There was a minute we're talking about him as player of the year in this league. Turned the ball over 10 times last night.
And it's 1-2. I don't think it was a good game plan from Wyoming.
Right, but it's the same concept for me on the Aggie.
Yes, I get where you're coming from. It's, hey, we did this, so you don't necessarily want to change what you did, but it was so much, EK and Maldonado, they're just going to back down the basketball. That's not going to stun Indiana, and that's what you're getting at is, all right, how did the Aggies handle that initially? And you're on the floor against UConn, and they have that extra gear of athleticism that you're not necessarily seeing all the time.
I remember going back to that Auburn. Remember this game? A.J. Harris had the layup for the tie. He wanted to win, and they get beat. The clock was running down. Harris passed up that open layup. He kicked it out to Terrell Brown. This was for the game winner. They could have put that game in overtime. Brown spot up for the game winner, and he was fouled as he took the shot. He missed 2 of the 3 free throws with 1.1 seconds to go. Remember this? This was one of those where you make 2 of the 3 free throws, and you go to overtime, make all 3. And I remember sitting there thinking, they're going to beat Auburn. And this was 1.1 seconds to go. Terrell Brown had that opportunities. And Chris Jans after the game says, I can't sit up here and second guess, but if he makes the 3 or makes all 3 free throws, it's an Ollie Frazier moment, he said. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
It was they had the layup.
Right
AJ had the layup to go overtime. And I remember going, take the layup. What do you do? I remember now, as I'm looking back at this, I remember it live. Like, take the layup and push these guys. And they had a wide open look, a foul. Oh, it was one of those crazy NCAA tournament moments. And Cinderella and the whole thing, and Bruce Pearl's sweat. That was their opportunity. So that wasn't on fouls, man. You got the call. I love you. But that one wasn't. Yeah. You didn't lose that one because of the refs. 505-246-0610. International Protective Service protects my home. IPS, or a security company. I know you see their vehicles around town. You probably wondered, who are those guys? What are they? They are a private security company that protects homes and businesses with trained armed security professionals. 2006 is when this started. IPS started providing security for some homeowners in Fort Hills, and here we are 16 years later. Homes and businesses all over Albuquerque trust IPS to protect what they've worked so hard to build. Their owner is Aaron Jones. He's from here. He's passionate about making Albuquerque a safer place to live and work by watching your home, watching your business with highly trained armed guards and 24-hour patrols. Don't wait to be a victim. I've trusted IPS to watch my home for years. It gives us peace of mind. My neighbors now next door on one side use them, the other side are like, wow, I saw your security guys really like the fact they come by. Yeah, they come by on a regular basis. Give them a call. See what they can do for you. 505-897-2420 is the number. 505-897-2420 or visit them online at ipsglobal.com.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face.
Impressive. We just come out and say it.
You're looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment,
What's your personnel?
every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com.
Steve, does it matter? You can't play tonight. They're back home tonight. Opening drive, Jeff Simbieta, JJ Buck. Nets beat Orlando 150 to 108. 150 to 108. 60 out of Kyrie last night. So, are the Nets the best team when they're full, or they're a playing team? Like, what are they? In 35 minutes, he went for 60 points. Pretty efficient. 20 out of 31.
Did that in 35 minutes.
Yeah, in 35 minutes. Yeah.
People were asking, could he push Kobe?
Go to 81?
Like, that's the type of game that he was having, because I think he scored 60 with, like, 8 minutes left in the game.
Would they have let him? Like would the defense have let him?
Well, they were throwing double teams at him.
Yeah.
Pretty much the entire second half.
8 of 12 from three-point land. He was 12 of 13 from the free throw line. Add to that, he had 6 points and 4 assists. Pretty good night for Kyrie Irving.
I would have let him at least try to get 70.
Would you? I mean, the
He's
game
not
was
playing.
150 to 108. Yeah, he's not tired. I promise you he's not tired. I mean, he's fresh. He plays, less than half the games. What am I supposed to make of the Nets?
That they're really good when Kyrie's on the floor.
Okay.
And it's incredibly frustrating. Kyrie's, sitting back, not making that decision to be available for his team night in, night out. But when he's on the floor, gosh darn it, he is fantastic. And that's kind of what we went off about when we watched that matchup, Philadelphia and Brooklyn and James Harden versus Kyrie Irving. Like, Kyrie, I get it. He's different. He's weird. He's made some bad decisions at times, but he is unbelievable with the basketball.
So, I believe this, right? We're a month away from the playoffs. Baseball season will start somewhat coincidingly. The mandates are being loosened. Restrictions are being loosened all over America, correct, in regards to COVID? Now, you see people wearing masks. You saw a lot of people at the Dayton game last night, or the games in Dayton in the first 4, wearing masks. But the Yankees and the Mets start up here soon. April 14th, I believe, to be opening day. The Yankees are having conversations with the mayor's office in regards to dealing with the vaccination restrictions and all of these things. Because right now, and did you see Aaron Judge asked yesterday, are you vaccinated? Well, I'm really concentrating on getting ready for the season. Right? I mean, yes or no? Like, you could say no, bro.
Yeah.
Because
it's better to just say that than try to play this game where you're dancing around.
I don't even know what he was doing. I'm just trying to get ready for the season and yes or no, man. Nobody's going to judge you. People, when you can't play home games, and people are going to get it. So under the current New York City mandate regarding private sector employees, which these athletes are, unvaccinated players for the Yankees and Mets, like the Nets and the Knicks, will not be able to play home games this season. It's the same COVID-19 that's keeping Kyrie out, and the Nets have been trying to navigate through this whole thing. And so you got Queens and Citi Field, and you got Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, and everybody's dealing with it. And so the Yankees are talking to City Hall. My gut tells me that by the time baseball starts, the Yankees will have gotten the mayor's office to figure this out. This was Kevin Durant last week. Saying they better figure it out. They got to figure it out. And JJ, I'm not going to pretend to know everything on this. But when I see Kyrie Irving sitting courtside at a Nets home game last week, and I see him after the game come over and he dap, bro hugs, whatever, with Kevin Durant. But he can't play. So we know dude's unvaxxed. He says he's unvaxxed. Do your thing. I'm not passing judgment. I know plenty of you are. Somehow it's okay. He can be in the building. He can go over and hug Kevin Durant, but he can't play. Will you help me understand what I'm missing?
And this is one that, because it comes down about like all workers in New York at this point, and while we focus on Kyrie, this or that, it's everyone that's not vaccinated in New York, correct? Like working-wise
in the private sector, yeah.
So it's something that if it changes to get Kyrie back in, then it changes for everyone else. So, of course, the words that are going to be coming out of the Nets and Yankees are going to focus on that, but affects everyone.
Currently, unvaccinated players are banned from playing in Toronto. The Yankees will go up there and they'll have to play a bunch of games in the American League East. So worst case scenarios, unvaccinated Yankees players would miss right now 92 games this season. 92. That's their home games and Toronto games. Unvaccinated Nets players would miss 83 games right now. Is this? I mean, and I know some of you are saying this is easy. Just get vaccinated. Okay, no, maybe you're right. I'm not sure. I know you feel you've got the right to tell somebody what to do with their body, but I'm not sure that those people feel the same way. But I do think that they're going to get to a point. You're going to have the Mets and the Yankees now, which feel a little bit heavier than the Nets, don't they? Putting pressure on it?
Yes.
Unions and clubs are working on getting clarification on the differentiation between, and then there's outdoor and indoor play, right? The Yankees open up, what's the day? Is it the 7th? No, the 15th. No, that's right, on April 7th. At home against the Red Sox. Mets open up at home on the 15th against the Diamondbacks. We get there, don't we? I'll play you Aaron Judge when we come back. I'll play you his response. Aaron, are you vaccinated? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Kelley Blue Book Instant.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
You try.
Animal. All right. Yes or no? Baseball's going to start. Are vaccine mandates going to loosen? And will it help affect things, or will it affect things in New York City? Kyrie Irving can't play. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ. Stephanie's producing for us here on the radio side. Steph, we're going to go to this soundbite with Aaron Judge. So, Kyrie can't play at home. He can't play in New York. Can't play in Toronto. But when he can play, like in Orlando, he went for 60 last night for the Nets. Baseball season opened up here in less than a month. What does that mean for the Yankees and the Mets? So I just told you that right now, unvaccinated players, because of mandates that they can't play in, they can't go to work in New York and in Toronto, Yankees players would miss 83 games. The Mets, what did I tell you, 95? Aaron Judge, star of the New York baseball Yankees, was asked yesterday. So, Aaron, are you vaccinated?
I'm so focused on just getting through the first game of spring training. So, I think we'll cross that bridge whenever the time comes. But right now, so many things could change. So, I'm not really too worried about that right now.
I know he prepped for that. I know he was coached on that.
Bro, we've been crossing that bridge for year and a half.
I really don't. I'm focused on getting ready for the season. I mean, come on.
Yes or no, man?
Yes or no? And
be there for your team on opening day or not?
Nobody's gonna. Well, I shouldn't say nobody's gonna change. That's not fair.
Yeah,
that's not fair. Plenty of people are judging people who are
What's
vaccinated.
an impactful decision?
Come opening day, if you're not in the lineup, are you gonna say I got a hammy? And every time you play, Aaron played. They're playing in Boston this weekend. Aaron Judge had a great series, and what does Michael Kay say? Stand up for the Judge. What does he say when he hits his home run?
All rise.
All rise. A gargantuan blast. Right? Oh, he looked great. He looked great in Baltimore in the 4 games this week, and played 4. Yeah, right. He played great in Baltimore and was terrific in Boston. But the Yankees play 8 games at home, and Aaron has a bad.
It might work out for Aaron Judge, so it doesn't land up on the IL 3 days into the season, actually.
Well, and they'll be off it as soon as they leave town, as long as they don't go to Toronto. West Coast swing, Aaron Judge is fine. He loves the sunshine and going back home towards Fresno, where he's from.
New era load management.
It's called COVID load management.
Aaron.
But it's got nothing to do with his vaccination status. Aaron had a great season. Didn't play one game in Yankee Stadium. Didn't play one game in Pinstripes.
Look at Kyrie, 50 points, 22-0, 60. You're like, what happened in that 0? He didn't play. Oh.
Yeah. Why? Was he hurt? Yeah, bad back. He was sitting courtside. And again, so then Aaron Judge can go to the game. Is that right? And he could sit there. He can watch his team. He can go hug his team after the game, probably even go in the locker room. Right? But he can't. It blows my mind. Help me understand the hypocrisy in the rule. If the rule's the rule, then how is he going there? I guess it is, JJ, it's workers now, right?
Yeah.
They can't go to work. They can go to a game if they have the negative test. So if Kyrie tested negative within 72 hours, I think is why he can sit courtside. But he is not permitted to work. Okay. And you don't think this is going to change? Because I certainly do. By baseball season, I think there's enough pressure put on that new mayor. From the Yankees, the Mets.
I think it changes, but I don't think it's just going to be because of the Yankees.
Well,
He's
Yankees,
talked
Mets,
about
the way things are
trending
going.
in that direction.
Yeah, no, I understand. All these things are pointing towards April 7th. Everything will be different.
And it's also, when you're in that point, if you just make a change, are people going to say, oh, you did that for the Nets, but you wouldn't do it for anyone else? Or now you're doing it for the Yankees? It's
political.
A game.
Everything's political.
It is.
Everything's political.
In that regard, and rolling back those mandates.
well,
But it's one that even if you're someone that's like, just Kyrie, go out there, get vaccinated, however you feel, I'll be vaccinated at some point. It's just so weird to watch him sit there courtside while his team's playing basketball, and you're just like, I don't know what's happening.
Well,
right now.
okay, so here's where maybe it pulls off on the political thing a touch, and it's still going to be political. This mayor, Eric Adams, did not put this mandate in place. It was enacted by the former mayor, Bill de Blasio, and his administration back in December. It requires any person, in-person worker, not remote worker, but in-person worker, who works for any New York City-based business. I wonder if that means, like, if our company was based out of New York, which it's not. I wonder if it would. He couldn't hit us here. Receive one of the COVID vaccines in order to continue that in-person work. Eric Adams has not yet moved to appeal it. Now, Adams, by the way, the new mayor, has lifted other mandates related to the virus, which would suggest he's trending towards that way. And there was a city spokesman yesterday that said, quote, mandates could shift with the state of the pandemic, but the city isn't going to carve out any individual exceptions. All right. I'm just telling you, I think this is where we're going. Tony, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Excellent. How you living?
Oh, living well, I'm living. Let's just put it like that. But let me ask you guys this. If Aaron Judge was in the last year of his contract. If he wasn't in the last year of his contract, do you think things might be a little different for him?
Why?
Because if they're doing this to him where, hey, you know what, you're not going to be allowed to play home games, how would that change stuff?
So you're saying...
How do you think it would change stuff? Because if I'm Aaron Judge and they're doing this to me and I don't want to get vaccinated, come contract time, I might go somewhere else.
Yeah, you're saying he could peace out.
Yeah, I might take my 40, 50 home runs, whatever, my 100 and whatever RBIs, and maybe even go to San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, he played at Fresno State. He's a West Coast guy. Interesting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it could. I mean, I could see free agents just saying, man, I don't want, especially unvaccinated free agents, saying I don't need to deal with that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yep. Well, you guys have a good day, okay?
See you. When do you think that plays in?
I think by the time we get to that point next year, yes. I wonder how much it's affecting it right now.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron Judge has
what?
It
would be around
2 more years left on his deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Talks football. When we come back. Baker Mayfield kind of said goodbye, didn't he? Or whatever that was.
Oh, Instagram.
What are we doing? I mean, you talk to another girl, I'm out. You talk to another quarterback, I'm out. What? I heard the Bachelor finale was pretty crazy, too. Do you watch that mess? I don't know why I looked
watch it this time.
I don't know why I just looked at you and assumed maybe. You did or did not?
I did not, but I do love those shows.
I heard it was nuts. Jimmy Kimmel told me that, I think. Or somebody did. 505-246-0610. Sebastian Noel at 8:30. We'll talk some high school stuff on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's home for the NCAA tourney is the Sports Animal. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and J.J. Buck.
Well, we're underway in the NCAA tournament. The NIT also. Wyoming's out. Mountain West has lost their first team. Texas A&M's not happy, even though they won in the NIT yesterday. You're going to hear a little bit from Buzz Williams later, and how he has lost all respect for the system. Because
dude, someone check out, like he was when you listen to Buzz Williams, head coach of Texas A&M, go off after his team won an NIT game.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to send a message of how wrong the selection committee was, and they're the one team you look and go, oof, yep, I feel you. Like A&M,
I get it. And they weren't even the last team out.
No, like that's
first
tough.
team out.
But it sounded like he was talking about something way more serious than basketball.
And we'll play you some Buzz Williams later. But it sounded like basically, I spent the last 2 days every waking hour looking at the data, and this isn't a
dude. You're in the you got 6 teams from your conference, bro. The last thing they're gonna do is look down on you. And boy, some of the things he was saying about the selection committee.
Yeah.
Slow your roll, man.
Yeah. Basically trying to hold their feet to the fire, because I'm a coach who got left out, and I want to know who you are, how you got, what your resume is, how you got selected to this committee, who's the committee that selects the committee, how often do you meet, what do you talk about, what are the metrics you use. I want all of this, and I need data to show me why we're not in.
I mean, don't go on an 8-game losing streak in the middle of conference play.
Doesn't that count? Why is Wyoming in and we're in? Essentially is what and we're not. It's essentially what he's telling you. So we'll get there. I want to talk some NFL. 505-246-0610 is how you get to us today. JJ's monitoring the text line because, I just can't. But you can send text to 505-246-0610. All right, when we left yesterday, towards the end of yesterday's show, we were talking about the Cowboys and how Randy Gregory had re-signed, or at least committed to re-sign with the Cowboys, and how this was a pretty nice free agency, and they were moving in the right direction. And then I want to say 20 minutes afterwards, it came out that in a crazy reversal, he said, no, I don't like some of the language in there if I have another discretionary issue. And he signed with the Broncos. Cowboys announced on their social media account that Gregory had agreed to terms. And then the Broncos later said, nope, he's coming here. Same basic deal, 5 years, $70 million stuff. $28 million guaranteed, basically coming in the first 2 years. But people are saying, and Ed Werder's the guy who basically broke this story for ESPN, said that the salary forfeiture language the Cowboys put in there is what led him to back out. And the Cowboys now are looking, they want Von Miller. Okay. The clause that Gregory objected to would void his contract if he was fined or suspended for any drug offense, any violation of the NFL's personal conduct policy. So basically, Steph, what he was saying is, well, if I have a drug offense again, or if I'm suspended, again, you can't keep my money. And they're like, well, wait a minute, man, you've got a history of some of this stuff, and we're protecting ourselves. And if you're fined or suspended for a drug offense, or you violate the NFL's personal conduct policy, then you're not getting all this money. And I guess the Broncos were okay with that. They didn't put that in, and so he went. This was a crazy change.
Dallas was making the right move.
I think you're right.
Denver made a very risky move in signing Randy Gregory. The dude's missed 50-some-odd games.
Yeah.
Injured in suspension in his career, and you're giving him $70 million, and you don't have any clauses in there. So that's, of course, why Randy Gregory went with the Broncos deal, because he doesn't have to have a clause in there that holds him accountable for any decisions that he decides to make.
This is insane.
And this is the one move for Denver. You say, all right, when he's on the field, it's going to pay off, but you really are trusting this dude to be on the field when he has that track record already?
I can't be with you anymore.
I don't know if the reward outweighs the risk for Randy Gregory right now. And he initially did agree to the Dallas contract.
Good.
So he was going to be okay with it. until they got the, we don't have any accountability for you over here. Come sign this one.
That's right.
Yes. Boom.
All right, so now the Cowboys are going after Von Miller. Von Miller was with the Rams, won the Super Bowl, and he got traded from the Broncos midseason. Now he's a free agent. All right, now what's going on in Cleveland? I don't know where you guys are in Baker Mayfield. Do you like Baker Mayfield? Do you think he's – I'll tell you where I am. I mean, he entertains me in his commercials. I think he's sensitive. I think he's a decent leader that the guys seem to like. And I think he's an okay quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback.
I'll echo everything you just said
All
about
right.
Baker Mayfield.
Sensitive. So the Browns, like, I don't know, half the teams in the league right now are looking at Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is the Texans quarterback who on Friday last week was cleared of any criminal charges in the case of the 22 women who have accused him of sexual assault. The masseuses, the massage therapists, okay? So the Browns, Baker Mayfield's current team, have spoken to or with representatives or spoken with Deshaun Watson, okay? Evidently, their front office met with Deshaun Watson. They're considering trading for Deshaun Watson, which would be a trade. It would send Baker Mayfield, which, by the way, Baker played down in Texas. He's a Texas guy, isn't he? Now, I get it. Does he want to go to that franchise? So Browns went down. They met with Deshaun. Maybe he's going to be their future quarterback. Baker Mayfield decided it was time to go to Instagram JJ and say goodbye and thank you. Which, what are we doing? This is, you know, I got a girlfriend, and I talked, well, I talked to another girl at lunch, and all of a sudden she's peace outing and posting stuff. Baker Mayfield, quote, with many uncertainties, here is where my head and heart is. The past 4 years have been nothing short of truly life-changing since I heard my name called in the draft to go to Cleveland. This is not a message with hidden meaning. This is strictly to thank the city of Cleveland for embracing my family and me. We have made many memories and shared growing in the process through all the ups and downs. I have no clue what happens next, which is the meaning behind the silence I have had during the duration of this process. I can only control what I can, which is trusting in God's plan throughout this process. I've given this franchise everything I have. That is something I've always done at every stage and at every level. And that will not change wherever I take my next snap. Whatever happens, I just want to say thank you to the fans who truly embraced who I am and the mentality that aligns so well with this city's hardworking people. Cleveland will always be a part of Emily and my story, and we will always be thankful for the impact it has had and will have in our hearts and lives. Sincerely, Baker Reagan Mayfield. Sounds like an airport, doesn't it? Baker Reagan Mayfield. That's a quote. Why now? What are we doing?
Quarterbacks, step away from Instagram. Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. Just leave it alone for a little bit.
Russell Wilson.
Like, just take a step back. It's a business, man. There's going to be hurt feelings, but you got to understand that Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback than you are. And if Cleveland is going to flirt with Deshaun Watson, you got to deal with it. Can't send out some message of, oh, this doesn't mean anything, but I'm saying goodbye. What are you doing?
What do you mean it doesn't mean anything? What does that even mean? It doesn't
You
mean
just told the city of Cleveland goodbye, and they haven't even done anything yet.
You just pieced out, didn't you? Now what happens when they don't get him? Now what happens
He
when he
just
goes
comes
to
back.
New Orleans?
He's like, hey, I love you guys. I told you in that post
yeah,
that I love
you, and I'm glad I'm
And
here,
we
and
are.
thanks for embracing me and Emily, and let's do another commercial.
Let's run it back.
What are we doing? I agree with you, man. Step away from the phone.
Put the gram down. The Insta.
Now, is this where Deshaun Watson wants to go? What's the best place for him? You're looking at New Orleans, Carolina, Atlanta evidently is in this mix, and Cleveland. And there's going to be, somebody else is going to pop up. I promise you. There's going to be another team that pops up out of nowhere. New Orleans feels, to me, like the best spot. Alvin
New
Kamara,
Orleans.
Michael Thomas is
and
coming
then
back.
Cleveland in terms of competing right off the bat.
Right.
Carolina would feel that they're a playoff team with Deshaun Watson.
Well, and that's also kind of home, right? And I don't know. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's not.
And then Atlanta was not as bad as
Atlanta
we expected them to be last
surprisingly
year.
decent. Yeah.
And now, all right,
Sneaky
and it's one that, they were sneaky mediocre. Yes, they were.
sneaky
Atlanta was
mediocre.
sneaky mediocre. But Deshaun Watson, the talent he is at quarterback, he's the guy that you bring in and you feel, all right, we're going to be good, even if we don't have great weapons just yet. He's that talent. I still have some hesitation because can you trust Deshaun Watson, the person moving forward? Because this was a whole lot more than just one accusation. He's moving on. People will move on. Sports fans will move on. That's why, just like that, everyone's back in on Deshaun Watson. But I still think there's a giant question mark, which is why it feels like Deshaun Watson's in the driver's seat. But I think these teams are definitely going to not be able to or give up as much as you would expect for Deshaun Watson until you have that meeting with him. And that's he's going through that process, talking with these head coaches, talking with these GMs. All right, Deshaun, this is a very, very big issue you're dealing with. Why should we believe you? Why should we trust you to be the franchise guy for this? You're looking at a decade. He's 27 years old.
Yeah. Why is this all he gets to choose?
Yeah.
Now, I think that's a big part of it. I mean, if you're in the front office.
Because he has a no-trade clause?
Well, that's fine. But do I want him? He's really, really good. By the way, there is an influx of really, really good young quarterbacks right now. There really is. Probably more young talent that you feel good about at quarterback than you have in a decade and a half, right? When was the last time you gave me the Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow? Up and down the list, right? And then mid-range veterans, guys like Matthew Stafford who still have 5-6 good years left, and then Russell Wilson's and then guys on the back end. Like there's while there's never enough, there's good quarterbacks to be had. If he doesn't convince me when I'm sitting across the table from him, you have to ask these questions. Yes. Deshaun, why? You had 22 different massage therapists, you just couldn't get one who rubbed your thigh the right way. What are we doing? So tell me about these allegations. You got to convince me, and I don't need.
Oh, and he's also has the power because he's the one available.
I get it. I get it.
Like, you can run down a list of really good quarterbacks. But teams aren't getting rid of those.
And as much as he can save your franchise, he can destroy it. If for some reason, I'm not telling you this is going to happen, but if for some reason not only does he have to sit out 6 games, but he goes in the tank because he's got to pay off 22 civil lawsuits, and this thing lingers and lingers and lingers, he can destroy you because of everything you're going to give up to get him. So as much as he can make you and save you and take you to that next level, and he is that good, he can also destroy you. Now, he better convince me as I'm sitting across the table from him that everything's good. 505-246-0610. Sebastian Noel's going to be with us at 8:30. Want your thoughts? We'll get you in the 9 o'clock hour, the Buzz Williams stuff, the Texas A&M coach. It's pretty amazing. Spring's in the air. It's going to be almost, I think, 70 today, Steph. Over 70 today? Then of course, we're going to drop down. We're going to get some rain. But it's springtime. You're going to get out. You're going to be active. Guys, how you feeling? You ready for it? If you're not ready for spring, if you're tired too often, you're sluggish, put on a few too many pounds, maybe you're even dealing with erectile dysfunction, may I suggest you call NuMale? NuMale helps men all over the country deal with these very natural things. Their number's 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or you can visit them online at NuMale, NuMale.com. So why are so many men visiting NuMale? Because it works. NuMale utilizes industry-leading testosterone replacement to help men deal with these very natural symptoms. Fellas, the reality is, as you get older, there's a good chance you're going to be affected by these things. You don't have to succumb to them, though. NuMale will help you. 505-652-1688. You'll take care of it. NuMale's here in Albuquerque. They're convenient, and it works. The beauty of NuMale is the results. They're real. Call NuMale at 505-652-1688. That's 505-652-1688, or visit NuMale.com and feel better.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
JJ and Nikki Heckroth Lobato will crack the microphone. 7 o'clock tip-off. I'll be out there, JJ, for a little bit. I guess, are we the big sponsor tonight? The Sports Animal?
Sounds like it.
All right. Don't forget, you can win $1 million. Steph, I know that's chump change to some people. $1 million. If you can go 63 out of 63, pick the perfect bracket. Go to our website, sportsanimалabq.com. Click on the contest button, the link there, the drop-down. Then click on when you see the tournament thing. It's sponsored by Petrie GMC Buick. And take part in it. 63 out of 63 wins you $1 million. Sounds so easy, doesn't it? I think it's easier.
Easy.
I think it's easier to win the lottery.
It probably is.
I think it is. All right, got a bunch of emails in. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Wyoming got beat in the NIT yesterday. The first round of the NCAA tournament yesterday. Indiana beat them in the first four, 66-58. So Wyoming's out. One Mountain West team gone. Dan says 0-2. Jeffrey, Juan Jose, Noana Maria y Gato Estefe. Not the kind of start the Mountain West was hoping for in a postseason where they must cash. 0-2 meaning also Utah State went out in the first round of the NIT. Rough night for the Mountain West yesterday.
I had the Mountain West in the NCAA tournament going 2 for 2.
So your winners are, I know you have Boise State. Who's your second winner?
San Diego State.
You have San Diego State beating. I have San Diego State beating Creighton too. San Diego State have a chance against Kansas. Or is Kansas just that good?
Yes.
If there's an 8-1, like if you were going to tell me, I think North Carolina is my 8 that I would like. I think North Carolina gets through Marquette and has a chance at Baylor. If there's an 8-9 up against a 1 in the second round, which one do you like?
San Diego State.
I kind of do too. Yeah, I think they got a chance against Kansas. You don't think North Carolina's got a chance against
I
Baylor?
think North Carolina has a chance.
Baylor's nice.
And they're going to be the probably 8 people just gravitate to. Is name brand.
It is name brand. I think it's better than TCU Seton Hall against Arizona. I think Arizona's really good. I think all the ones are really good. I don't think Boise State or Memphis.
It's all about matchup.
Better than Gonzaga.
Like
Right.
all these teams are good. So the matchup of it is you've seen North Carolina in those games, even though the ACC was down. You still watched them play in some big time contests. Armando Bacot is an exceptional forward. Caleb Love is a really good guard. So that you feel like they can play with Baylor. For San Diego State, it comes down to which team is going to show up offensively. Because there's 3 forwards and then Abaji for Kansas that can beat your defense.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to look at that San Diego State defense, and they're not going to have 4 points in 10 minutes.
I promise you that. And San Diego State's just got to score. And that's what scares me. All right, Gene's in. It says 28-2, the legacy of Coach Talk a Lot, Jeff. He's talking women's basketball. He says this joins losing to UNLV 24-7. Oh, no, this is baseball. Did you see Global Baseball got beat 28-2 yesterday by Texas Tech? This joins losing to UNLV 24-7 or 33-8 Dallas Baptist like they did a couple years ago as the lowest point in the history of the program. I don't think I've ever seen a team scored 16 runs in an inning. This should just remind people how far Lobo baseball has to go to even be competitive with better squads in the region. Lobos got smoked yesterday in Lubbock, 28-2 by Texas Tech in baseball. 16 runs second inning. It's rough. Really. I don't know. When was the last time you saw 16 runs in an inning? I mean, youth baseball, they call that. All right, stop. Go home. Get some orange slices. Stop beating them out. Les says it's a sad 2-year anniversary, or 2-year anniversary, Jeff. 2 years ago today. It's today, the 16th. Yeah, that's about right. We got the email from my employer. COVID has been detected in New Mexico and expected to peak that week. So under the orders of the governor, we are closing until April 6th. You have the rest of the day to clean out your office, get everything you need for 2 weeks of remote work. It left many shaking their heads, wondering what we were doing. 2 years later, we still haven't fully reopened, and the head shaking continues. 2 years ago today, some of you shut down. Well, it's about right. It's about right. Wouldn't that be 2 years ago today? They told us to go do a podcast.
Around that time, yep.
We did one podcast, and we did the show from my office a couple of days. A few weeks, right?
Yeah, it was a little while.
Yeah. What's up, Ray?
How's it going, guys?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, that Wyoming game was a rough one, but that's what those referees, when you play with the big boys over there, they let you play. If it was the Mountain West referees, everybody would have fouled out in the first half. But that's a physical, and there was they couldn't touch Davis in the middle.
Yeah,
that guy did whatever he wanted to do, and they just guarded him tough. Maldonado was all frustrated because the guy was in his face, but the referees let him play. That's a bad thing. That was a bad thing for Wyoming, for the referees letting him play. But that's how it is in the other conferences. In the Mountain West, refs they call every touch fouled in the Mountain West, and that hurts Mountain West teams when they come into these tournaments like this. And Denver, that's my rivalry. I'm a Raider fan, but Denver should have never got Gregory. His drug of choice is marijuana, and it's legal there in Colorado. I think that's why he went. But I don't see him playing too many games with them before he gets suspended again.
Interesting. All right, Ray, thanks. You think that's why he went, huh?
He went because they didn't put as much language in the contract as Dallas did. And
they guaranteed his money no matter what happens to him.
Suspension.
All right.
And which is, to Ray's point about the fouls, it would feel like, I guess not getting to the free throw line is a drawback for Wyoming. Because it feel like Hunter Maldonado, EK want to be physical in that game.
Yeah.
Like they want to back down, they want to play in the post.
They still got there 18 times. I mean,
it's because they couldn't run offense outside of that.
All right, when we come back, Sebastian Noel's going to be with us. We got to talk some high school sports with him, and we'll get back to your phone calls after that. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Like the turning seasons, you go from cold to windy and warm to colder again and windier and warm again and warm. You go from hoops to baseball, just like that, just like nature's supposed to react. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. We'll get back to your phone calls in a bit. Baseball season is now hit full swing here in the Duke City for high schools. It's baseball, it's track and field, it's lacrosse. What else am I missing in the tennis? Golf season now? Golf as well. Got a lot going on in high school sports. The big Metro tournament is going on underway right now for baseball, and ProView Networks is all over it. He is the voice of the people, Sebastian Noel from ProView Networks. Joins us on the opening drive. Good day, sir. How you living?
Good. How are you guys?
Excellent. You get over the basketball tournament. It was good to talk to you on Monday, but everything kind of mellowed, and people are still buzzing about it, aren't they?
Yeah, they still are. Especially, this morning we got the Gatorade Player of the Year announcement, so that was kind of exciting.
Yeah, go ahead and hit on that, because I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, Jaquan Hill was named the Gatorade Player of the Year, Volcano Vista guard. Well deserving. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of candidates this year. I'm sure Deuce Benjamin was right there in that conversation. Jerome Mirabal, the kid from Magdalena. But Jaquan, it's funny because I was trying to rack my brain back to a Volcano team that didn't have Jaquan Hill on it. I always joke with Greg Brown, like, that's your super senior, right? He's been there for 7 years. No, it's only been 4, but he went in there as a freshman, and he was an immediate contributor, and it seemed like he's been there forever. So good for Jaquan, and a really nice kid, really hard worker. I wouldn't be surprised if his sister won one before she was done there at Volcano Vista, so I'm really pretty happy for Jaquan because he's a good kid and a great basketball player.
Will he continue to play at the next level?
I have to believe so. I know I saw some coaches from Eastern, Highlands there, and he might have to go that route to start because he's a little undersized. But I never underestimate the size of that guy's heart and his work ethic. I can remember, back when he was a freshman. Opposing coaches, people would say, just, make him bring the ball up the floor. He can't break the press, okay? He goes into that off season, becomes a better ball handler. Next year, make him beat you from the outside. Can't hit that shot consistently. He goes into the off season, becomes a better outside shooter. So whatever deficiencies his game has had over the years, he's addressed it. And as a coach, you see that work ethic, you see that kind of commitment. If that trajectory continues, that's all you can ask for. So I definitely think he'll be playing at the next level.
Yeah, and speaking of Hill, I don't know if really any time I've seen a clutch moment like that in person, to free throws, just to send the game in overtime, 4 seconds left in a state title game. It was just an unbelievable moment late.
Yeah, I mean, and that's him. That's Jaquan. He is that calm. He doesn't. Sometimes I think he doesn't have a pulse because I've interviewed him post game after winning a Metro championship, after hitting a game winner, after a 30-point game. Expression never changes. So yeah, we got a nice win. We got to keep getting better. We got to keep working. That kind of stuff. But that's just him. It's not an act. That's his personality, man. He's just a cool cat.
Sebastian Noel, ProView Networks, joining us. And I know we're wrapping up with the state tournament, but the All-Star Game rosters were announced, and it looks like we could get some really intriguing matchups if these guys are able to run it out there one more time in that All-Star Game atmosphere.
Yes. Since you brought it up, I'm just going to go on the record and say that an All-Star Game without Oscar freaking McCoy, that's no bueno for this guy right here, for me. So, but other than that, yeah, we're going to have Isaiah Carr and Jose Murillo on opposite rosters. So since the All-Star Games, for those that don't know, that doesn't have a north-south format anymore. It's just red-green, and it's randomly assembled. So, yeah, we're going to get to see some pretty interesting matchups. Deuce Benjamin is on the opposite team of his big fella, Isaiah Carr. So that's always a fun week. Those games tend to be pretty entertaining.
How'd they decide the teams? Like I never mind the selection of the players. How'd they team them up?
Well, so every district has a representative. They met on Sunday. Basically, you kind of, they put their top players up on a board, coaches vote, and then basically they put an order to the players. And so, it's red and green. Those are the names of the team. So it's pretty much numerically assigned. So if the green team gets the best player, then I think the red team gets like
number 2
and stuff like that. So
right.
I mean, I preferred the old north-south format, but definitely there's a uniqueness to this format because you see teammates go at it that like you've never seen before, so that's kind of cool.
Sebastian Noel is the voice of the people from ProView Networks. He's joining us this morning on the opening drive. All right, I saw yesterday Jose Murillo is going to play college basketball. He is the 6'9" stud from Highland who led the Hornets to a Class 4A championship, scored 40 and had 20 rebounds in the state championship game. He's going to Portales. He'll play at Eastern. It feels like that's a good thing for him. I know a lot of Lobo fans are saying, why isn't Richard Pitino looking at him? And I think the thought is he's not ready. He's not developed enough. And I know there's a lot of banter going back and forth. People just saw numbers, saw highlights. And so is this the right place for him? And can he be a Lobo one day?
Yeah, 100% this is the right place for him. Yeah, I saw some of that in the paper, and I've heard some of that discussion. And everything you just said, I agree with 100%. He's not quite ready for that. Let's pump the brakes on that. I know 40 and 20 looks great in the paper, but come on now. And I think that's going to be a nice spot for him there in the Lone Star Conference. It's a tough league. Speaking of that league, Lubbock Christian wins that league pretty much every year, led by one of our own, former Cleveland Storm Amir Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
He's starting this year, and they're probably going to get to host their regional of the Final Four again this year, which means golf in Lubbock in the morning and Final Four game in the afternoon for me. So I always like to catch up with Amir at this time of the year because he's been putting in the work this year. He was a key member of the team last year, but this year he moves into the starting lineup. So we got some local kids making a lot of noise right now.
No, but you're convinced for Murillo that's the right spot and it's the right place for him.
Yeah, and I know New Mexico Highlands was interested as well. I know Coach Dominguez put on the full court press as well down the stretch, and I know he's got to be pretty disappointed. But yeah, no, I think that's a great fit. That's a good fit. Lone Star, that's a good league. There's a couple of big guys in that league. That's a good fit for him.
Sebastian Noel, ProView Networks, joining us. All right, Sebastian, always feels good, when Cibola Cougars are out there doing something well. Senior pitcher Tommy White drops a no-hitter against Valley. Albuquerque Metro Championships are going on. What do we need to watch for today and over the next couple of days?
Yeah, and their reward for that no-hitter is they get to face the La Cueva Bears today, who won 19-1 yesterday and batted 27 times in an inning. Congratulations, JJ. Go get them.
Go. I'm ready. I'm warming up my arm as we speak.
How many did they score? Did they score 16 runs in an inning like Texas Tech did?
No, 19. It was funny. I was listening to that segment, and I said, boy, do I have something for them. Yeah, they played at 19 runs.
God bless them. God bless them. All right, so what should we watch? There's lots of baseball now, and if you dig the high school baseball, let me just tell you, this city, this area, this state has turned out some really good baseball players. I say only the city. I mean, don't include Carlsbad. It's the state. We've turned out some really, really, really good baseball players over the last bunch of years, and you got some fun ones to watch now. And with the Metro tournament going on, you get to see some of the best.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're a Lobo baseball fan, you got two. We're talking about La Cueva here for a second. Just head over there. You got two Lobos on the field. You got Achille Karras at shortstop there, and you got Matthew Dene, the first baseman, and he pitches as well for La Cueva. So Lobo fans, get to check that out. But all across, the city is stacked with some talented teams this year. You have La Cueva, the number one seed in this tournament. Sandia is obviously very good. Those two teams faced off to open the season. Rio Rancho is very good. They got good pitching at the top of their rotation. Volcano Vista's right there. They've got off to a great start in their season. And then Rio Grande, they're always right there. Number 5 seed. They had a win yesterday. They're really balanced. They got some arms. The lineup, top to bottom, is pretty good. So the parity in baseball at the top is always pretty good in the city, and no exception this year.
Now, Sebastian, something I wanted to just kind of ask you overall big picture of looking at high school athletics. I know there's been a lot of talk, a lot of challenges, when kids can come out and choose the high school they want to go to, and part of it is athletics, and part of it is as a parent, where you want to send your kid. But what we've been able to see, I know we talked about during football season the story of that Highland football team, but then to see Highland basketball, the boys go on their run, kind of what does it mean as you look at the city overall as we go through these challenges and seeing these high schools have their kind of ups and downs?
Yeah, I mean, that open enrollment debate is, it's never going to end. I mean, would you like to see players play at teams where they live in their neighborhood? Yeah, of course, absolutely. I think there's something pure about that. But as a parent, if I'm a baseball parent and I want to send my son to play for Gerard Pineda at La Cueva, does that make sense? Absolutely. Because his kids go play at the next level, right? He teaches the game at a high level. You're going to play the game at a high level, and you're probably going to play at the next level. So as a parent, you understand that 100%. But, I mean, I certainly understand both sides of that argument. And the Highland example is a good one. They have one winning program, boys basketball, while the others are struggling. And actually that's a good example because their basketball players, they come from an academy there, right? That's Spy Highland, SAC Academy, which is a charter school that doesn't offer athletics. So those kids have the enrollment choice to go play at Highland, and that's what they did as a group. They all went to go play at Highland. Their schooling during the day happens at SAC Academy, and then they get bussed over to Highland for practice, and they play, and obviously we see the results. So Highland has benefited from that enrollment in that sport, but obviously that's an outlier because there are other programs kind of struggling, and you hate to see that.
Well, we're not going back the other way. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, once something like this happens, it's not getting turned around. So, all right, go enjoy it. You can watch Metro Baseball on ProView Networks. Go to ProViewNetworks.com. You also get Sebastian's show, the Steve Davis Show, all the other great programming that they've got there. You can watch them on Comcast Channel 26, where you watch our show every morning. He is the voice of the people. We'll catch up with you next Wednesday, Sebastian. Thank you.
Great, guys. Be good.
Be well. See you. Sebastian Noel from ProView Networks, and thank you to him for being with. There's really good stuff going on right now. Really, really, really good stuff going on around the Metro. All right, 505-246-0610. It's yours the rest of the way. Coming up at 9 o'clock, we'll get into what Buzz Williams had to say, the coach of Texas A&M, after his victory last night in the NIT and then just blowing up, or at least he thought he was, the NCAA selection committee. Hey, what's your financial goal? Everybody's got different goals, but relatively they all lead to the same place. Kirtland Federal Credit Union can help you get on the path that you want to be. Kirtland Federal Credit Union has a wide variety of products. If you want to buy a car, they've got competitive rates and unbeatable service. They'll help you drive away in the vehicle you want with payments you can live with. Looking for a new home? Choose from a wide variety of mortgage programs and partner with a team of friendly and knowledgeable mortgage experts. Have a home, looking to improve it? Turn the value of your home into cash. You can use that money for home improvements, upgrades, or more. And if you're looking to plan for retirement, invest in retirement. It starts with Kirtland Financial Services. Talk to an advisor today. Start walking the path to a confident future at Kirtland Federal Credit Union. The Independence Debit Card is a little card backed by the Go Anywhere, Buy Anything power of Visa. It offers you exclusive purchase rewards in your online banking account. Whatever it is you're looking to do financially, Kirtland Federal Credit Union can help you get there. Stop by a branch today or visit them online, kirtlandfcu.org. That's kirtlandfcu.org. Membership eligibility required. See your representative for details.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limited.
And by the National Sports Media Association.
Back at it now. NCAA tournament tonight, first four. You get Lady Lobo basketball here on the Sports Animal, WNIT, Lobos and Grand Canyon. 6:30, JJ will crack the mic with Nikki from Albertsons Radio Row. Back to you. Two lines open at 505-246-0610. Rudy, good day, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Going to head out there and watch the women play tonight, and watch the Indiana-Wyoming game last night. And you know, you're not going to beat Indiana when you turn the ball over 22 times.
Yeah, it was 19, but it was 10 by Maldonado and 5 by Ike. You can't, and that will be the stat you look at. That's why they lost that game.
I mean, I guarantee you, they turned the ball over that many times against UNM. UNM would have beat them twice.
Yeah, UNM beat them once and almost beat them up there. So yes.
Yeah. So I think this brings up what Ray touched on and what I've said for years. You're never going to win in the NCAA tournament if you allow the officials that currently do Mountain West basketball to keep calling touch fouls on guys like Sebastian Forsling and, you know, letting Ike have his way. And it's just, there's something going on with the way basketball is called in this conference that does not prepare them for the NCAA tournament. And I have a feeling that the same thing that happened to Wyoming against Indiana is going to happen to Colorado State against Michigan. You know, if you go into this tournament and you expect that you're going to get a call, forget it. You're a mid-major conference, and you need to go out there and you need to be ready to compete and know that it's going to be physical. And I just don't think the way this conference is being run, officiating-wise, prepares these teams for an NCAA tournament.
So here's the struggle, Rudy. Yeah, here's the struggle. Those same officials, it's not just like David Hall and all those guys, they're not just Mountain West officials. They're Western United States. So they do Pac-12 games. If you turn on a Pac-12 game,
but I've watched them, and you've watched them, Jeff,
yeah.
And they call differently.
And so why is that?
Mountain West games.
Right? I mean, you got guys, and I think you're right. I think the Pac-12 game is more physical. And so why is it? And then here's what bothers me more. It's the inconsistency. Why can I watch a game in the tournament with New Mexico and Nevada and see 49 fouls called? And I'm courtside. I watched a game the next night, which was San Diego State and Colorado State, which was way more physical than New Mexico and Nevada, I thought. And there were 23 fouls called, 23 versus 49, and 9 in the first half. Why is there such a discrepancy in consistency?
I don't know if it's a philosophy thing. I don't, and I'm going to be the first to tell you, I don't sit in on officials meetings,
sure,
you know, with the conference, and I don't know if this is a conference thing or I don't know if it's a perception of the official. And I understand these guys do games. And one of the other things that may be a problem is you see these guys doing too many games.
Maybe.
You know, Tony Padilla comes in and absolutely stinks up the court, and Randy McCall for a Mountain West game, and less than 24 hours later, they're doing a Pac-12 game in Las Vegas.
Yeah, no, I know, and I don't know that their travel is. Bottom line is, are they any better at the Pac-12? Do you think they're because the Pac-12 people think their officials stink too? By the way, everybody thinks their officials stink.
I think it's time to do two things: nationalize officiating so that these guys work all over the country, so they see other teams, and forbid these guys from doing the number of games that they do. You know, you've got David Hall, who's a software engineer. You've got Tony Padilla, who's a bail bondsman. Are they really committed to being Mountain West Conference officials or nationally ranked officials? That should be their only job.
No, but they
It'd
got
be
to
like
make a
me
living.
being a lawyer and then going out and running a bakery on the side.
Being like me being a bowl director and then doing a radio show. Well, wait a minute. I mean, they got to make a living, right?
Well, some people can wear two hats, but when all the travel and all the preparation that's involved in doing and officiating games, I mean, this has been a struggle for the NFL, and that's where they've run into it.
Yeah, I just don't know.
I don't know if we need to nationalize officiating and standardize it, or what has to happen, but I'm very fearful of what's going to happen to the Mountain West the rest of this tournament based on what I saw last night.
Yeah. Rudy, appreciate
Gotta
you.
play
Thanks.
basketball, man. You can't be blaming all this on the refs.
But
That's outrageous.
I don't think he's blaming it on the refs, but I don't think
Absolutely
he's
is.
wrong. I don't think he's
Tell these
wrong.
dudes to go home. Are you going to pay them a living wage to be full-time officials? And where are all the other officials then to fill those voids?
And what are these guys going to do the other 7 months of the year, 6 months of the year? Howard, stay there. I want to hear from you, too, and I want to continue this conversation. I don't think he's totally wrong in regards to the inconsistency, but I don't think that's the reason Wyoming lost either. I don't think that's the reason Hunter Maldonado turned the ball over 10 times last night. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
I'm Caitlin Burton with NFL Network Now.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. With faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs. Call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com.
I'm New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and J.J. Buck.
All right, back at you on a Wednesday. Your sheets are due today. Filling out your pools. You got all your brackets done. Steph, you got a national champion yet? Stephanie's in for A. Marie today. She's like, well, yeah, kind of, but I'm not sure. This is a weird year for me, by the way. A bunch of people, hey, help me with this. I don't know squat, dude.
Don't ask me.
I don't
Just
know
fill it out.
Oosh. You know more than I do. I don't know squat. Oosh. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. Howard, thanks for holding. You're on the opening drive. Good day, sir.
It's always a privilege to call into this show. You don't have to thank me for holding.
All right, good.
Happy birthday.
You know,
is it your birthday?
I can see that. You know, you go to Rudy's waiting room before a consultation, and there's coffee and a tray of pastries, right? I think that'd be a good combination. Baker and lawyer.
Not bad.
No? Okay.
Butter,
Hey,
butter
I
you up before you take
I
out
want
money.
to touch on the Randy Gregory thing. And, Ray, if you're still listening, I'm not taking a shot at you, but, you know, I'm going on 20 years now. I've overcome a cocaine addiction. And, you know, 11 years of my life got lost, buried in that addiction. And it's addiction. I'm not going to bet on addiction over Randy Gregory. I'm going to bet on Randy Gregory. And I hope he's the Defensive Player of the Year next year. You know, because I'd rather bet on the human being than the addiction. And, you know, I don't know why he did it. He's got his own reasons. Maybe it was because marijuana is legal over there, or they didn't have that clause. The man still has got a little bit of a self-doubt in his ability to stay on that straight and narrow line. And I hope for his sake that he realizes that at the end of the day, you know, it's not a given that you'll, you know, watch your son grow up, or, you know, walk your daughter down the aisle when she gets married and things like that. Those are privileges. Or watch your daughter play lacrosse or whatever. You know, those are privileges in life. And I hope he realizes at some point you just aren't awarded those for waking up every day. You gotta try to do the right thing, and you got to try to live a decent life and be good to people. And I hope, I sincerely hope that Randy Gregory is a Defensive Player of the Year next year, and he goes on to have a good and prosperous life and can, you know, stay away from that awful stuff. So hopefully, anyway, you guys have, oh, by the way, guys, I turned a tender young 61 today, and no new mail in my life yet.
Happy birthday. It's there for you when you need it.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, thanks, guys. Have a great day.
See you. Happy birthday to Howie. And it's incredible perspective as well. And thank you for that. Well, I want to finish up the conversation on the referees and the officiating, because I do believe it. First of all, I don't know that you can nationalize this, right? Some guys live in the West, some guys don't live in the West. Some guys, you know, how are you going to travel these guys back and forth, and so what are you going to do about it? I think regionalizing it is the right way. They've gone away from just having Mountain West officials, West Coast officials, WAC officials, right? These guys do, and I think I like the concept of that. I just now I don't know that I think that the head of officiating in the Pac-12 is emphasizing different things than the head of officiating in the Mountain West, but maybe they are. Maybe it isn't. But how do you turn the switch? So you're Randy McCall and you're doing a game at Poly Pavilion one night and you're doing a game in the Pit the next night, and do you in your mind you remember what is being emphasized, and you have to referee the game differently? Theoretically, the game's the same, right? Now, we do have leagues. Should they be officiated differently? Should they not? I don't think so. College basketball should be officiated the same way. But in your mind, do you officiate a game between New Mexico and Boise State differently than you officiate a game between UCLA and Arizona State?
You shouldn't. There might be some things that come into play as you just laid out in conversations. Hey, maybe let's be looking for this. Let's watch out for that. That might be different amongst the leaders having those discussions in the conferences. Officiating plays a role in sport. There's no doubt about it. But I can't sit here and be as adamant saying the way Mountain West is officiated is why Wyoming lost that game to Indiana. Did they just not? Because I look at it, and if they let them be more physical, that should be advantage Wyoming, actually. Because EK and Maldonado, all they want to do is beat you up in the post. But then you say, well, did they not get to the free throw line enough? Should they have shot 30 free throws as opposed to 20 in a game like that? And so I think the officiating question, it has to be talked about because it's part of the game. and no one likes to just point out officials because it feels like excuse making. But there's a factor in it. But then so the other point of it is, so you're going to tell these guys, well, you have to be full-time officials. Well, how much money are they going to make? What are they doing, as you said, the rest of the year? In the summer, are you going to say, well, we're only getting paid during basketball season?
And what's going to make them better if they're full-time? What makes them better?
Be a part-time job. And then also, I know you're frustrated with those officials you see over and over and over. What is making anyone want to be a referee when you're just signing up to get trashed on constantly? Like, where are these officials coming from? Because it doesn't matter. Whether you're watching that state title game Saturday night, where everyone thought they were the worst referees ever, to the Mountain West officiating, like, where are they coming from?
Yeah, you're not going to be happy with the officials if they're full-time or they're not. I promise you're not. And you could tell me they'll be better, they'll be more consistent. Maybe they will be. Where are you getting the money? Everybody's screaming that they've got no money. So where are you getting the money to make these guys full-time employees and pay them full-time salary? But I think this is, if you're an accountant or what are they? One guy's a what? Nice catch. One guy's a mortician and one guy's an accountant and one guy's a banker, whatever. When they hit the season, this is what they're doing and this is where their focus is. I just don't know that I think you're ever going to be happy with officiating. We've spent hours talking about NFL officiating, right? Mm-hmm. College football officiating. Now, look, I will be the first, and Craig Thompson, when I talked to the commissioner of the Mountain West the other day, in Vegas, he said that was kind of one of the first things he said to me unsolicited was, yeah, people, I said, how's the tournament going? Feels like it's been pretty smooth. Yeah, people complain about this call or that call or whatever, but he's heard this crap for 20 years. Because there's always a call that goes the other way. Now, look, are there bad calls? The call on Jalen House, that third foul, was horrible. I thought the call, the charging foul on Justin Bean late in the game against who knocked them out?
Colorado State.
All right, I thought it was horrible. Now, I thought they had a make-even call on the other side. But, there were some bad calls. I don't think by making these guys full-time you're going to feel any better about them. I think you just want consistency. My biggest issue is, how do I have 49 fouls in one game and I'm at halftime of the next game and there's 9? And the second game was more physical. I mean, do you think I'm wrong when I say the San Diego State-Colorado State game was more physical than the New Mexico-Nevada game?
That's a fair question. Was it the same crew?
No, it wasn't the same crew. But it was the same tournament, the same,
But that goes into what's even just different in between those guys watching
those
games.
I just 49 fouls in the postseason when all I hear is they let you play more in the postseason. It's more physical. You got to and this now that leads into Rudy's point. Okay, I'll give Rudy on this. If now neither one of those teams made the NCAA tournament, but how much different? Let's just say New Mexico and Nevada got into the tournament. How much different a game did I watch last night than I did between those two teams where everything was being called? How am I playing? That's what you're asking for is consistency. It's like a pitcher, right? Call the same strike zone. Hello, Dan.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
So, one time I got teed up at the bench for telling my troops, okay, guys, tonight we're playing against 7. And the ref was right there. He teed me up right there.
You're talking to your own
bench,
team.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to really watch my P's and Q's for the rest of the game. But
that's like Jeff Linder last night. The Wyman coach.
It's not going to change. You have to teach your team to adjust to the officiating just as much as you teach them to adjust to their opponent's game plan. It's part of the game. It's human. There's human beings in there calling the game.
And I think that's right.
You got to just keep.
Yeah, Dan. You're right, and no matter if they're full time or part time, they're human beings who are going to make a call. It's like the strike zone, right? Now that it's going to be really interesting in AAA. We're going to robotize the strike zone. It's going to be computers calling balls and strikes. How will we react to that? Because there is no human element anymore, and there's no way to do that in basketball, man. There's just no way, and so you're going to have human beings out there. And by the way, they make mistakes,
and that's part of the game. I mean, it's just part of the game. You have to accept it We are human beings out there playing a competitive sport, and the officials are a critical, crucial part of the game. You're not going to like all the calls. Too bad.
Yep.
You got to just adjust, and that's it. Teach your team to have thick skin and adjust, put it behind them, make adjustments.
Yep.
Like we all do in life every day.
No doubt. No doubt, Daniel.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, see you.
Have a great day.
All right, when we come back, I got more phone calls. We are going to hear Buzz Williams. You need to hear the Texas A&M coach from last night after an NIT victory, unloading on the NCAA, so we're going to get there. I'm going to tell you about something that really changed my life, and tell you about a lot of things. I don't know, everything's life-changing, but getting my LASIK done at Coleman Vision did change my life. No longer did I need contacts and lenses. I was anchoring the morning news back, this was 2003, and dealing with getting up at 3 in the morning, going to work, putting on my makeup, then putting on my contact lenses, and my eyes were red and burnt. It was misery. So I went and saw Dr. Stephen Coleman over at Coleman Vision. I had my LASIK done. I had an astigmatism, pretty high degree of astigmatism, and that's one of the things in which he specializes. Had the surgery done at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, opened my eyes a short time later, literally like it was magic. Literally, the second I opened my eyes, I noticed how much clearer I was seeing. And all these years later, I'm still glad I did it. The technology Dr. Stephen Coleman uses is cutting edge. He's played a significant role in developing it and testing it. Current technology he uses is used not only here in New Mexico, but it's used around the world. It's originated at Sandia Labs. That's why people come from everywhere to get their LASIK done at Coleman Vision. Dr. Coleman's the best. It's inviting. You're going to walk in there and you're going to realize how comfortable it is, how inviting it is. You'll have your consultation. And here's the beauty about Dr. Coleman. He'll tell you if you're a candidate, what the process can be. And he'll also tell you if you're not. I've known people who've gone in there and it's just what they needed correction-wise isn't something that LASIK could do. He's going to be honest with you, and you're going to be glad you did this. If you're thinking about ditching lenses, contacts, glasses, whatever, there is no better place than Coleman Vision. Go see Dr. Coleman. The number's 505-821-8880. 505-821-8880. Or go online at colemanvision.com. Seeing is believing, and I'm certainly a believer.
I'm attorney.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures.
Your brackets in. Go to sportsanimalabq.com. Go to contests. You'll see the $1 million bracket brought to you by Petrie GMC Buick. Perfect bracket gets you $1 million. It's really that simple. I think it's like if you get 60 out of 63, you get 10 grand. I mean, there's a lot of money in there. Yeah, go play for free. Compete against Steph. See how you're doing. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Stephanie's producing today. She's in for A-Marie. Adrian's on the ProView side. We're on ProView Networks, channel 26 on Comcast. We are also on the Facebook of the OD in the AM. The number is 505-246-0610. Edward, good day, sir.
Good day, lady and gentlemen. Thanks for letting me get on the line this morning. You know, my primary intent this morning is to recognize my good friend Howard. And today is 61st birthday, so it's a Costco cake-worthy day, a day of celebration and jubilation. But more importantly, for my good friend to come on and admit that he has been overcoming a substance abuse problem the past 20 years, and I know Howard pretty well, I just want to remind people that transparency and openness is a strength. And I'm so proud of him, and I'm proud to call him friend. So, Howard, I know you're listening. Happy blessed birthday. Many more to come. Take that $100 you won from me because, you know, we couldn't beat the New England Patriots couldn't beat the Dallas Cowboys at home. So you took $100 from me. But Tampa Bay does play in Dallas this year, so we may have to traverse northeast and go catch a game together like we promised a few years back. So happy blessed birthday, my friend. Regarding Deshaun Watson, and I know he didn't play last year, I think if he steps on the field for what I would consider a competitive team, he immediately gives them an opportunity to win playoff games. He took a dysfunctional franchise, in my opinion, the Houston Texans, and he won a playoff game in Buffalo and had the Kansas City Chiefs on the ropes until they defensively collapsed in the AFC divisional round, and he won a national championship. I think if he went to any of the three teams in the NFC East, they would probably be favored to win the division over the Cowboys. But we'll see, because a year away from the game, his personal choices notwithstanding, I understand that. That's a factor, big factor. But that guy is a game changer. He's a difference maker. And if he comes back to where he was, he's probably a top 5 quarterback the minute he steps on the field, in my humble opinion. Regarding officiating, Jeff, my last point, and JJ, Jeff, we officiated many games in college, not college games, but, when we were trying to make money. And I was doing a game one time with a high school coach, and it was a very heated affair in New Mexico. And I was in college at the time, and he was barking at me, and I knew him fairly well, and we honored our friendship, but it was very objective. And I told him, hey, I'm more than happy to admit that I might blow a call here or there, but are you willing to sit with me a day later and watch the film and watch how many blown layups and turnovers and everything that you did during the game. If you're willing to do that, I openly admit that I'm not perfect. If I was perfect, I probably wouldn't be reffing your game. That was the line I always used.
That's right.
But it's very interesting. I have a friend that has the same engineering degree I have that is in Arizona in the greater Phoenix area, and he does college games, to Rudy's point. And he's a dynamic, brilliant guy, engineer by trade, and he calls college games, and he's very good, like really, really good.
Yeah.
So very interesting. I watched about 5 minutes of that game last night. It was abundantly evident and clear to me that Wyoming was outmatched, to be honest with you. And Wyoming had a good year.
I didn't think they were
I
outmatched.
only needed to see probably 10 possessions, and I was like, yeah, they're outmatched.
Yeah, I didn't think they
So-
were outmatched. I just didn't. I thought, look, is Indiana deeper? I'll give you they're deeper. And in fact, Wyoming only played a couple of guys. I didn't look at that and say they don't belong on the floor with this team.
No, I think they belonged, and they had a great year, and they could have won the game. It's just based on the pull of the game, and maybe I didn't watch enough because I don't watch a lot of college basketball. It just seemed kind of they were scattered and frantic, and I think it hurt them, but that could happen to any team. Anyway, thanks for letting me share
Thanks,
my
man.
thoughts.
Yep.
Have a delightful day.
See, did you think they were outmatched? I think Indiana's better.
Yeah, I think Indiana, as you said, when the options that they were able to bring off the bench and not lose any athleticism was a big deal in that regard. And when Wyoming's not hitting threes, it's easy to stop their offense. It's just two guys that want to back it down, and if you're not hitting shots around them, you can slow them down, which is what Indiana did.
I thought Indiana was better off, and I know it was 9-8. I thought they came out, they were more prepared for the moment. I thought Hunter Maldonado maybe played his worst game of the year, and I know he had 21 points. Your first-team all-conference guy can't turn the ball over 10 times. He just can't, and I thought he was flustered. I thought EK might have not been ready for the moment in the first half, and it's amazing to me how much better he was in the second half. JG, to me, it was alarming. At halftime, I thought, wow, EK might not be that good, and I'm watching Jackson Davis just dominate him, and I thought in the second half, EK went toe-to-toe with Jackson Davis. I'm not telling you he was better, but I think better than Jackson Davis, but he was better in the first half. I thought EK played a really good second half.
Yeah, he settled in. He had that shock of that first half, and then he went to work.
All right. So nobody's ever happy with anybody. You're not ever happy with the officiating, and you never will be. You're never happy with the selection committee. All right, here's what happened last night. Buzz Williams is the coach at Texas A&M. Texas A&M was one of the last teams, not the last team. Dayton evidently was the first team left out of the NCAA tournament. So Texas A&M is in the NIT. They won last night. JJ, they played Alcorn State at home. They won 74-62. They're one seed in the NIT. As one of the first four teams left out. They were a team that I think a lot of people had in the tournament, understood. Now, to your point, they lost 8 games in a row during league play, right?
Yes.
They won 12 games in SEC play. They won 5 of their last 6. Buzz Williams, after the game last night, came out and read a statement for about almost 8 minutes. Read a statement. Said, I'm not going to answer any other questions on this. He said, as long as people on the committee have personal biases, this will continue. What will continue? Somebody's going to be left out, Buzz. Somebody, whether it was going to be you, whether it was going to be Rutgers, whether it was going to be Notre Dame, whether it was going to be Wyoming. And I appreciate your passion for your team, for your kids, for wanting to get your guys in. But to go to the point where, and you listen to this, we basically called the system corrupt.
Yep.
Where he demanded to know who was on the committee, how they were selected onto the committee, who is the committee that selects the committee, how often do they meet, what do they talk about, what are the data points, explain to me why my team's left out. You're a basketball coach. Here's a little bit of Buzz Williams last night after the game talking about it. And I'm not going to play you 8 minutes of it, but here's a little bit of it.
It has caused me to lose all respect and faith in the system and those that are in it. What has transpired is wrong. I am so sad for all of the young men in our program, especially those who decided to stay at Texas A&M with their COVID year of eligibility.
I'm going to get you a little piece here where he tells you.
The process is obviously flawed, and it is apparent that there is way more included that is unseen and unknown in the selection of the 36 at-large teams than what the public is made aware of.
All right. And then he goes on to talk about personal biases. Look, I get it, man. When you get left out, it's emotional. You don't get your bonus. The kids don't get to play. And Texas A&M's got an argument. But for him, and he said every waking hour in the last, since Sunday, I've been looking into this. He wrote down. He never looked up. He read off of this sheet for 8 minutes. Like Buzz, I appreciate your passion, but somebody gets left out every year. And this one, we have this conversation about college football, right? Mm-hmm. What about the 5 and 6 team? Well, we'll expand it to 12. Well, 13, 14, 15 are going to be upset. This is number 69, 70. That's who you are this year, and we have this. I just think for him to make some of the allegations that he made, you got left out, man. It sucks, but
fans are going to eat that up.
Oh yeah,
it is. Talk shows, message boards, social media, they're loving that conversation because they feel that there was absolutely an axe to grind against Texas A&M. And I will say, you're in the SEC, man. Settle down. People talked about you playing in the best conference. You got 6 teams in. You finished great. You went on a great run in the SEC tournament. You had a resume that was at-large worthy, but you were a bubble team. And sometimes your bubble burst. And you just did not do enough to overcome that 8-game losing streak that you had in conference play, because every game does
the whole
matter.
Season counts.
And you can be frustrated. You can make your statement, but he was totally off base. Trying to take shots at the selection committee. What are these guys doing? Who are they?
Who
what
are
is
they?
their background?
Yeah.
They're the same people that selected 5 other teams from your conference that had good resumes, and it just wasn't good enough. You can be frustrated, but you need to slow your roll a little bit, man, of throwing accusations like that. You're in the SEC.
Yep. 6 teams in your league got in. 6 teams. Ryan says you're 43 in the net ranking. You went 4-10 in Quad 1, 2 of which came in the SEC tournament, and a third the last game of the year. Without due respect, you finished well. You went 5 out of the last. I mean, I think that's great. And you should have got in over, and he'll tell you Wyoming and Rutgers and them and that. Oh, okay. One of my favorite sayings this time of year, and I hear it from all the analysts when they're all arguing who, the last 4 in, the first 4 out. When you put yourself on the bubble, it's on you, man. Because then you're leaving it to a committee. Leave no doubt. November counts, December counts, January counts. It's not just what you did in March down the stretch. He's got an argument. But to allege corruption, and I want to know who they are, and I want to know about the biases, and I need to know the data. No, you don't. With all due respect, you don't. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, Stephanie, Adrian on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Hi, I'm Jeanette, the new owner of Highland Rental. Since
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I
Ryan said I spent last week at the AAC conference. Memphis is insanely talented. Boise State's going to have their hands full. It's a tough matchup for sure, huh?
Yes, it is. A lot of athleticism.
Certainly a local angle on that?
Cody Toppert, right?
Cody Toppert is the head assistant for Penny Hardaway. Cody Toppert from Albuquerque Academy, and then Ivy Leaguer, and we spent a lot of time with the Phoenix Suns. He's the number one. In fact, he was up for or at least wanted the Lobo job when it was open, but he's the lead assistant there. So, yes, there's a nice local piece there. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Hello, Jerry. You love the referees, don't you?
Well, I have empathy for them, but I have a question for you. Our son is from Albuquerque, and he played high school ball here, and he played at UNM also. So I got to know the local referees, baseball referees, really well. So after a UNM game, this referee was calling pitches 4 to 6 inches off the plate, both sides, inside and outside. And I knew this umpire. I knew he's a good umpire. So I went up to him and said, "Hey, how you doing?" All that. And I said, I'm curious. I've watched you umpire in Albuquerque for 10 years, and you're a good umpire. And I said, what you're calling is not a strike, and it's not a strike, but what's the deal? And he said, Rich Alday told me that if I didn't make those calls, I wouldn't umpire any games for UNM. I said, oh, okay,
Really?
I get it.
Rich Alday, the former coach here.
Yes. Great guy.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason he did that is UNM was real light on pitching and real heavy on hitting, and Alday would rather have the advantage, whatever advantage he could get for his weak pitchers. So that was his reason. I get it. So my point of all this is, when you watch a Mountain West Conference game televised, and then you turn the channel and watch a Big Ten game televised, the officiating is 180 degrees rougher for the Big Ten than it is the Mountain West.
No doubt.
So my question is, do our coaches, or do we have anything to say about how these guys are calling the game? Because then I will see our Mountain West Conference referee coach. I'll see him do a Big Ten game, and he calls it Big Ten wise.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. I don't think they should. I think the game should be officiated the way the game should be officiated. Now, whatever that means, right? Whatever the rules are.
Whatever that means. What does that mean, Jeff?
Well, and what are we talking about? I mean, are we talking about should it be more physical? Should we talk about?
Yes.
Whatever the emphasis is from the NCAA, Jerry. And so if you're allowing some contact, allow some contact. If you're telling me hand checking is legal, then don't call the hand checking. If you're telling me it's not, I think all anybody really wants is consistency to know what we're doing. It is so hard, Jerry. I mean, the fact that we got to slow things down to slow-mo, frame by frame. Did he foul him? Did he catch him on the arm? Is it a three? Is his toe on the line? And it's bang bang. And these are world-class athletes, and they're really good, and they're really fast, they're really strong. I think to your point, all the coaches, all the players should know, here's what's allowed, here's what's not, right? Here's one of my biggest things this year. The charge block thing at the rim has been totally swayed. It used to be, 80% block, and now it feels like it's 75% charge. Is that an emphasis this year? I thought there were a lot of bad charge calls this year as guys were going to the rim. I thought guys got bailed out on defense by stepping in. Now, were they all wrong? No. I think, to your point, the big guys in the Mountain West, for instance, get called for so many more fouls, and then EK goes up against Jackson Davis last night, and stuff that were fouls in league games are just like, play on, right? And so I think all you want is consistency. What is it, Jerry? I don't know. Have them define it. It's not for me to define, but define it and live by it.
Yeah. Well, it sure puts us at a disadvantage when the NCAA tournament starts because we're not used to being able to play that way. Yeah. Now, if we were able to play that way all year, I think it'd be a little bit easier for us, but we have a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So.
Good call, man. Appreciate you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Jerry called the 246-0610. I hear him. I've never heard that before where a coach says, hey, call it this way or you're never gonna officiate here again because we need to play this way. I've never heard that before. Have you?
No, but I'm definitely sure it happens.
Yeah, I'm sure it does too.
Like we just found out. And this is tough because style of play is going to be a little bit different when you get into conferences, and I'm sure that there are different discussions. You want to try to have as universal as possible rules, but there's a narrative out there for a reason because people see it. This is more physical than over here. They play a different style here. They play a different style there. But if I would like to see more consistency, I'm right there with you. I think that's a key in officiating is just try to be consistent across the board. But I just saw a Pac-12 team go into Logan and beat them by 15.
Mm-hmm.
Is that officiating?
I don't know.
Are we just going to look at all these West Coast teams and say, well, it's because of the officials? They can't survive.
I think, but you would admit, right? Games are officiated so drastically differently, game to game. Right?
You do see. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a big factor. Then how are these coaches addressing it? Because they have to bring it up to the leagues then what these guys are seeing over and over and over.
Yeah. Jay, good morning to you. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are y'all doing?
Good. What's happening? What's going on?
Well, thank you for taking my call. So I wanted to get on about the refereeing thing here. And I'm going to say this. And, you know, I feel a lot of times that people tend to bash referees and you know, the inconsistency or, you know, what have you. But one of the things is, and you know, just now you know, games are refereed different game to game. Athletes. So you're going to have various, you know, the thing about basketball is you want to have a flow. And sometimes, you know, calling things breaks up the flow. Like we talk about this, when you call too many fouls, it's a choppy game. I mean, I've heard that.
Right, there's no flow to a game. Yeah.
Right, there's no flow to the game. And then you'll hear people say, well, they need to call everything.
No, that's right. And that's a foul, ref, when my guys don't ever cheat. Yeah.
Right. And the one thing that I would say, and you know, I was listening to this last night on this fine radio station, and Doug Gottlieb got on and said something to the effect of, you know, when you look at a foul through the glasses, through the lens of your team, you know, that's a foul, but you never seem to hear them talk about when they get a break from the referee. And it happens quite a bit in basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball, everything evens out. You watch a game
It's like golf, like anything else.
where you're a neutral party, you'll notice, like, team will get called for a foul or team will do something, and then the very next time down, that team throws the ball away. The team that, quote-unquote, benefited throws the ball away.
You know why, Jay?
So
ball don't lie.
That's right. The ball don't lie.
Yeah.
And the truth is, that's, you know, when you actually divorce yourself from fandom, you'll notice that basketball is that pretty much everything pretty much evens out. You know, the big thing last week was the Jalen House thing, you know, him picking up his third foul.
Yeah.
But there were two block charges where he could have easily have picked up a
That's
block.
right,
on
and you got the call there. No, that's 100% right.
Right, exactly. So, you know, no one seems to talk about that. In fact, I waited this week to see if anybody would even bring that up. And at that point, you know, obviously it didn't get brought up. So, but that just says you're looking at calls through the lens of your team, not looking at calls through the lens of
No, you're right.
impartiality.
Because you always do that. That's what we do as fans. My guy, a horrible call. My guys don't cheat. Yeah.
Right. And you always hear that. You know, all you have to do is just sit down in the stands and you'll hear that.
No doubt.
And it's not to, you know, it's not to bash fans.
And by the same token, the other team thinks they got hosed.
Right, exactly. Everybody gets hosed.
That's right.
There's no
They
fan
hate
base
us.
that thinks that they benefited from any type of call ever, and there's no fan base that believes that the referees, you know, are on their side. And it's just a thought for everybody.
No, it's a great call.
Referees don't go into referee meetings and say we're going to hose one team
that guy
or the
today.
other.
Yeah. No, it's good, Jay. I appreciate it. It's great perspective, and it's good. Terry, stay there. His call's so dead on, though, JJ. Like Jay's call of all of them, he's so right. He's so right, because as you're walking off the court and thinking, we got hosed today, the refs stink, they think the same thing. And when you get that block charge call, it's the right call. 100% it was the right call. You never remember the ones that went your way, do you? Yeah. It's like in golf, man. You never remember, I dropped that 60-foot putt that I stole a couple of shots on number 4. I lipped 2 out on 15 and 16, right? You always remember the ones that go against you. It's just how it is. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Athletic Greens. One scoop has vitamins to help you start.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
The Sports Animal.
Bigger tournament for the for the Big Ten or for the Mountain West?
Mountain West.
I mean, it is, right? Although the Big Ten just soiled themselves last year.
Doesn't matter.
Because they're the Big Ten? Yeah. Wyoming's out. They got beat yesterday, 66-58 by the Big Ten, by Indiana. Another Big Ten Mountain West matchup coming up, Colorado State and Michigan. You got San Diego State against Creighton and Boise State against a really good, talented Memphis team. 505-246-0610 is how to get to us. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. We're off at 9 tomorrow because the madness begins. Hello, Terry.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, JJ. Good morning, Stephanie, the Mariano Rivera of host there. So, yeah, the block charge, yeah, it drives me crazy. Maybe I see it different than you. I'm glad they put in the circle underneath the basket. The wonderful Coach K, who was always one of us that he was the Team KU Duke support letter word in my household. But when they put at least that circle, you got a few more where the players couldn't just step under the basket and take it as a charge. Now they have to move out. I still think a lot more are blocks
There's still the leaning in if somebody takes off
Ton
and
of
all
it.
that.
Yes.
But yeah, so from that end, and I think they'll fall for it when the big guy kind of jumps in and then falls down. Probably should be a flop, and they'll call it a charge or offensive foul. Gentleman was right. We see what we see for our team, and then the others. I think in the Big 12 semis, a couple calls went against KU, and then in the finals, Texas Tech. Geez, KU seemed to get 8 out of 10 calls there in their favor. So it happens, because if you go into Fog Allen, there used to be the one coach who'd come down to the pit and said, "I've never been hometown more than this place," and I always thought, have you not played at Fog Allen Fieldhouse? So from that end, it happens. The seeding, hard to believe I agree with Jay Billis twice in the same month. I wish they would, instead of just the top 4, do a seeding for the top 50, top 60 before the tournament start of the conference tournament, so that the fact if somebody has 2 or 3 good days, you weren't there to begin with. You were 10, 15 spots out. You can't just jump everybody in 1 week. And it is hard. I mean, from Jerry Palm, I disagree a little bit where he says they watch all the games on the committee. I don't think so. KU, your Aztecs, I mean, they could make the Sweet 16. KU's been fortunate this year in a few games, which I thought they'd probably be a 3 seed 4 to 6 weeks ago, and they won some really close games, and so I think they're the probably most vulnerable number 1 seed, and so from the coach at A&M, you got a big bonus. Too bad, live with it and all that. The tough part about refereeing is, JD, where do you find refs? We had it in youth soccer.
Who wants to do that?
The coach had his 13-year-old daughter reffing a 3rd grade game. And at halftime, she comes off the field in tears because the other parents were just giving her grief over a 3rd grade
Would you
soccer.
let your 13-year-old go out and do that? I mean, it could be a learning experience or it could break her. I don't know if I'd let my kid go out and do that right now, honestly.
Well, at history, I probably would have let my 13-year-old, because she most likely would have started a fight, having won all her national gold medals in martial arts. She probably would have gone over and kicked the crap out of somebody, but I would have had to break that up.
I don't know about the others.
But you're right. Somebody breaks and they don't want to ref anything anymore.
Yeah.
And so where do you find them? And whether it be, from youth to high school, the grief they take. And you wish it was more consistent. But, I've watched Big Ten basketball and think a hockey game was, the hockey players thought they weren't that rough.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you get Mountain West game and they call 40-some fouls.
49, man.
So,
Yeah.
So
in a postseason game. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and the consistency but where do you find the new guys? Rudy says don't let them do any games. Do you cancel games?
Well,
do you say,
that's a great question. Are they doing so many because you don't have enough to give them 2-3 days off a week? Or is it out of necessity, or are these just the guys? Terry, appreciate it because it's a good perspective. Enjoy the day.
Okay, you too. Take care.
I'm trying, dude. I really am trying with these buttons. Like, really am. Where are you getting refs? I mean, I don't know. Does everybody want to do this? Steph, you want to go out and call a game? You're going to hear Rudy all night, by the way. He'll be in your ear.
He'll let you know.
All right, let me get you as many of these emails as I can. Lobo Hobo says, don't trust that selection committee any further. I could throw him, Jeffy. We saw that firsthand around here. I don't think it was a coincidence. Lobo basketball's most successful 4-year period ever corresponded with the 4 seasons Davalos was a member. Okay. Lobo Hobo also says, need a new WNIT intro. The WNIT is on the air. It's half hour until post time. The Lady Lobos are brought to you by the Downs at Albuquerque. Come to the Downs. Now with the call, here's a legend, Nikki Heckroth Lobato and J.J. Buck. Do you have one of those?
Find out tonight.
All right. Jeremy's in on replay. Jeff, I hate to add another level of complexity to the Mountain West Conference. Lady Lobos game in Vegas comes to mind when it took 15 minutes to play the last 50 seconds. You remember that. But the officiating has been so bad this year, it's time to add a coach's challenge, ? There has got to be a way to clean up some of these blown calls. Interesting. Coach's challenge. Just add a little more to it. All right, have a good call tonight. JJ's on the air tonight. It'll be at 6:30, women's NIT. Lobos and Grand Canyon Lopes. Are they the Lopes or the Antelopes?
Lopes.
That's what I thought. Steph, thanks for working today. Appreciate you doing your job. Adrian, thanks for working today. Appreciate you doing your job. Thanks to Sebastian Noel. He was with us today. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4, and then JJ and Nikki have Lobo women's basketball at 6:30. Enjoy the day. Have a good call.
Thank you.
Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you tomorrow.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Riley Ottman bodies that ball. Ava Love, wide open bucket. She drifts through the air and knocks it home. So
out of the corner, no. Nora with the rebound, quickly gets it ahead to Louise. In transition, the left-hand layup is good for Luciano Webster.
oh, Lyra Corona, she has a chance to change that story. She does.
Diaz now with the ball. It's a 3-point lead. Montoya, she tries to equalize. Boom! Olivia Montoya with her second 3-ball of the second half.
There's an assist from half court on the inbounds pass.
That's a long shot. The laser shot. Holy cow. Closes down quickly. Garcia Romero for 2.
With the rebound here comes Benjamin.
Throw it up.
He's going to throw it up to his big fella, and his third dunk of the night. Hey, remember, Greg Brown doesn't have any timeouts. They get it into Hill. Hill's going to have a chance to win it at the hole. Yeah! He does it! Hill bangs in the 3, and the Hawks win it 60-59.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.